Hey friends, Teacher Joy here with my friend Monica, and we are talking about how to teach joy.
Good morning. My name is Monica King, and this is my friend Joy. And she has a beautiful book out called How to Teach Joy. And I know Joy from just about only 6 months ago or so. And I've just been watching her story and slowly getting to know her and realize she's in the same field that I am in, which is early childhood. And I'm just returning back into early childhood, so it's been a while. And she has brought a whole new feeling to early childhood. The depth and the emotions and the thoughtfulness behind her program and her ideas to help our children are amazing. They're just, it's right on. And it's what teachers need to hear, it's what parents need to hear, and our children are worth it. And it makes me really happy and proud to know Joy and to know what she's doing in the world. And her purpose is to get to these kids and to even their families and the teachers. Like, we all need guidance in this world and understand who we are and why we're here. And how do we go about this life that we're in? And that is our whole goal, is to teach adults and their families and teachers to help these little ones grow into magnificent human beings that they're meant to be.
Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so full. This has been quite a wonderful journey to bring this book to life, bring it out into the world, and give everybody a chance to see what's inside my soul. Really, I have this passion for early childhood education, and it's been with me my whole life. It's been my longest, dearest friend, and I've been collecting these great little nuggets of information from every single child, every parent, every educator, every instructor. They've influenced my career, my love and passion of early childhood education. And it's given me a chance to get this book out into the world, into the hands of the children and teachers and the adults in the lives of young children, but also the children themselves, because the beautifully illustrated story side that really captivates those littles with the bright and fun colors. But really, the purpose behind this is inspiring.
It is.
Inspiring teachers, inspiring parents, and loving on the kiddos and being able to give them a true understanding of how important these early learning years are. And I'm so grateful to share it. I'm so glad that you love it. And
I do. It's a tool. That's exactly what it is. I feel, as someone who's coming right back into education, I took a step back for a while. It's giving me the tool, and it's like, of what I can do with my students and my own children at home, and even with myself. To be honest, it is a book for of all ages, and it's encouraging to understand just how important those early years are in early childhood, and why early childhood is so important for our future of Mother Earth, of our human beings. We need, if you guys take a look at our world, we could use some help. We could use some help identifying how to live in this world. And that's what this book does. She allows you to go year by year, starting from birth all the way to the year 5. And through each page, I love it. She gives me ideas on what to do. She talks about, in the book, she gives you a wonderful picture that you can read to your kids, whether they're your kids at home, whether your kids in the classroom. It doesn't matter, so you can follow along that. It's beautiful, colorful. And then here is more for like the teacher or the parent, the grandparent, whoever. And it tells you what that specific stage they're doing, and why they need us to help them, live in this world. And she just goes beautifully into each page.
my hope is you have fun. there's some great fun activities and ideas to really bring that play to life for early childhood educators and children, and really connect with each child in their own age and stage, and be able to give them what they need to nurture that specific time in life. If you've got a 3-year-old and they are having some emotional big needs,
They have big feels.
they do have those big feels, flip right open to that emotional 3-year-old page. Check out those ideas, check out those activities and fun things that you can do to really enhance that time and have some fun, really being in the moment, playing with those littles at the same time as filling up their soul and connecting with them on an individual and personalized level. This book, like you mentioned, it is for early childhood, really those first 5 years. Yeah. But everyone, it's fundamental.
Well, what I'm finding is like when I'm reading through it as an educator, I'm like, oh yes, I know this. And I'm like, okay, that's a good idea. And I love that she actually gives me activities and examples. And then I can go onto her QR code and go to her song list. And she's actually there on YouTube singing all the songs. So she not only gives you the songs ideas, right, but she's also kind of gives you the idea of how to do it, maybe with your hand motions, and not be afraid to use your voice in front of the little ones. They want to hear every single voice that comes from us. And if we ourselves are confident enough and taking risks, right, and scary and singing in front of other people and stuff and playing, especially as adults, like that's what the kids need to see. We are their first teachers, right? Whether we're playing with them, whether we're teaching them something, it's all play, it's all teachable. So we're
modeling.
Thank you.
We're modeling how to have fun. And if you don't sing well, sing loud.
Well, and I always and then I act silly when I'm doing it because that's what brings out. And what I'm finding in this book and working with little ones is that it's helping me as well. And it's making me realize and understand that I can be silly and funny, and it's bringing out my inner child.
Yay. And that's what I hope for. Oh, hope upon hope.
Yeah. And that's really what it is. We all have our inner child within us, and it's those kids help us bring it out. And we help them become the adults that we need them to be on this planet, right? And it's just totally worthwhile because you give every example that's needed to move forward and to give like the reader encouragement and to know that like, yeah, this is a really, really important time of their life, but it's fun and playful. It doesn't have to be like scary and whatnot. We're doing it together with them. I think that's the big thing with kids. It's like we don't have to look at them as smaller and separate from us. And here I am, a teacher, and I'm teaching them. It's all one. We're one, and they're teaching us just as much as we. And that's what I feel like your book allows everyone to go into healing.
Definitely. Those tools, those tips, those tricks, but that encouragement and that bringing it to really what's important of being present, being involved, engaging with your littles of every age, right, in that moment, playing on purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. And that play is the child's work. And sometimes people are like, well, what are they learning? They are learning to be and to be calm. And that's what we want, right? We want to teach them to understand, like, you can have all the feelings that you want. We're supposed to feel, and we can have them. And then we can identify them, and why do we have those big feels, right? And then
where do we put it?
And how do we handle that, and then we teach them how to let it go. And that's so imperative, is to teach. You can have your feelings, feel them, because that's why we're here, and then let it go and move on with your day, your hour, your minute.
Exactly. Parenting is sometimes minute to minute, teaching in a classroom full of wild little learners. it sometimes gets chaos. It's messy. Learning is messy. And there is some point that you really get to embrace that. And this book gets to be kind of that guide of how to enjoy this, how to understand the importance and capitalize on these very important early learning years.
Something I want to do, and like your boldness and your
I love that. I have often said enthusiasm is caught, not taught. And so my responsibility in the world is to be the best version of myself that I can be and model for others to love themselves. And so I have to consistently practice that.
Isn't that the truth though? Like look at us. All our conversations have been on our self-worth, our self-love. And that is exactly what we want to bring to these kids. And it just goes to show it's not just a it's a lifetime.
I'm a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
I will be practicing how to be my best self forever. And not just for me, but for my kids and my friends and my future hypothetical grandbabies. But by having this, it gives this simple concept something you can go back to, you can reference, you can.
And it's very clear. Like when I saw it this morning, I was like, "This is nice. Like it's crisp. Like it's not like a lot of fluff where I have to like kind of like dig through and like read fast. It's more like, okay, yeah, this is that. I like learning that way. It's very statement oriented, and I like seeing all the branches and stuff. It makes sense because
it took real effort to pare it down into these tiny little boxes of bite-sized pieces to really cut straight to the heart of what's most important. Because honestly, the adults in the lives of littles don't always have time. They don't have a chance to sit down and read chapter book after chapter book of all of these complex concepts. It really is bringing it to what's the most important. And it's a great start. Now, my goal is to get this book as a tool in the hands of as many people as possible. But there's more. Like, there's more to this project. It is about supporting every parent and teacher where they are and giving them what they need. And so, yes, this tangible tool can be in your hands, but then there's more. Connect to the songs on YouTube.
Yeah. I can't believe how much content she has on YouTube. I had no idea. I was like, oh my goodness, I am putting this down in my classroom. I love it.
I don't sing well, but I sing anyway.
That's a good lesson for me to hear because I do. I sing in the classroom, but I don't sing anywhere else. But it's because, to be honest, I'm playing. I'm playing with the kids, and that's what I'm finding as I come back to this is that, like I said, with the inner child, that's what they're bringing out. And I'm like, even my son, I come home now and I start like a little wrestle and stuff, and he's 14, and he's like, you are literally moving like a toddler right now. I'm like, I am not. And he's like, no, you really are. He's like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm having fun. I'm playing, and it's just good.
Kids keep us in the present.
Yeah, he's grounded.
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, this is what I needed as a young mom and a new teacher, and stepping into the understanding and awareness of how important this is. I didn't want to do it wrong. And so I have spent over 30 years collecting that knowledge to give it away, to really be able to share that with as many people as possible, to take the fear off, to take the scariness out of young children, littles. They feel so breakable. But
and yet they're so resilient.
They're so resilient.
And that's what they're teaching me too, is that to be resilient and to get back up and to keep moving. and to fail. Like, we are meant to make mistakes. Like, that's how we become successful. And in a world now that it's just like sports and just everything, like who's reading first, who's doing all this, it's just enough. Like, it's all going to come naturally. It really will. And I think as parents, when you're in it, sometimes you're kind of like in survival mode. And you're like, I have this newborn that I want to take care of. Every parent wants to, right? I mean, really, we want to do this. That's why we have our kids. But then they come and it's overwhelming. And
you're just in cope mode.
No, it really is. I talk to my friends sometimes. I'm just in survival mode. Take a deep breath. What are we here to learn from them? And or this moment, this stage or phase that you're in, however old the kids are. And just having that support is nice. And this is a supportive tool for the parent that feels like they're surviving or in survival mode, or the teacher that's like, hey, I'm a teacher. I'm also a mom at home and I'm feeling a little burnout. And
homeschooling parents that are mom and teacher or dad and teacher, and you're juggling all of the emotions and the goals that you have in place. And really, I want to inspire you. I want to give you this gift of love and fun and play and focus. And there's more. But wait, there's more. Check out my website, teacherofjoy.com. It doesn't just have kind of those special links for the book and how to bring me into your world, but there's so many more resources that are being rolled out every day so that it can give you the chance to set yourself up for the best success possible for your kiddos.
Love it. I love it. I'm grateful to this book and to you and your whole message. And I really hope, I'm trying to get her to come to my center at Boise State, because we all could use her joy. We could all use your joy.
My mom named me right.
She did.
Yeah.
She absolutely did.
Thanks, friends.
Bye.
Hey, friends. Teacher Joy here with my friend Monica from Boise State University.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
That's good. I love it.
And we are connecting as early childhood educators and those that inspire the adults in the lives of young children all the way down to the young children themselves. And this is my new book, How to Teach Joy, and it is a simple guide to nurturing a child's development. This is a tool.
Absolutely.
This is something that I want everyone to understand. In the beginning, it starts with a little bit of my story and how I became a mama and what important things that I learned along the way. We got a little story to tell you. Okay, so I learned through failure. Yep. And I was a mom very, very young. And when I was pregnant, I started taking early childhood education classes because I was cramming for my life course.
Isn't that the truth?
And accidentally fell in love with the industry, the importance, and I delved deep into what kind of parent do I want to be. I had some big, I had three big important things I did not want my newborn to experience. I didn't want them to hear no. I didn't want to be squelching any of their creativity. I wanted to give them the healthiest start possible, no sugar. And I also knew breast milk was the best. And I really wanted to be that breastfeeding mom. And so I stepped into this parenting role with, these are like my pillars, right? I'm going to be the best I can be. Well, that newborn was 2 weeks late and almost 10 pounds. And they flopped this gigantic child onto my belly and realized that he had low blood sugar. So they whisked him away and they popped a bottle of sugar water in his mouth. as I screamed, "No!"
This is one of my pillars. Don't do it.
So instantly, the first minute of parenting, I felt that I failed. That those were the things that I wanted, and I wasn't able to, reality.
Well, how many parents have that story? So many, especially with maybe they wanted a natural birth or maybe, vaginally birth, and then they had to do the C-section. And I have personal friends who they took it very, like they felt guilty.
Yes.
And I just wanted to hug them and just like, you're okay. You're okay.
Parenting is messy.
It is. And it doesn't always go exactly as planned.
But what I learned was that love was what it needed, what that baby needed, what I needed.
Yeah.
And I have kept that as an understanding of it's okay to fail. It's okay to not, to have reality, but doing my best and consistently showing up and really trying over and over and over again. Well, it made some really great men. Those babies that I've had that have grown up have shown me how to be a great person. They've given me the incentive to heal and the motivation to learn and to continue to show up and be present and do my very best. And because of them, I have been empowered to follow my dreams and to take my ideas and collect them and put them in this tangible piece of information to take some of the fear out of failing as a parent and take some of the self-imposed pressure that I felt as a mom and bring it to some simple tips and tricks and tools and activities and ways that you can engage and teach and inspire that next generation.
Can I ask you a question? What brought you to the tree? Like what made you want to make that into the tree? It makes a lot of sense to me. I see it and feel it and I understand it, but I would like to know.
I am a tree lover. First of all, I love Mother Nature. I love everything that she provides for us. But there is something special about the symbol of a tree where it grows and grows and grows, and it starts out so vulnerable and really needing the protection of the trees around them and the interconnecting of the root system that has that support that allows for the storms of life to come in and build that tolerance and sturdiness through the connection of others, through the protection of others, but also it's an individual that gets to grow itself. And it starts as a little seed. It starts out as a little sapling, and some trees grow to be California redwoods, and but they grow that much because of that interconnection in the root system. And what it provides, what trees provide for us as a world, as it's so healthy, it's so valuable, it's so important. And I think that it's a great representation of what children bring into our world as well. And the value and what they give to us as we give to them. And so I think it is a representation, and this whole book is a representation of a child's developing mind.
So like from the seed, that's kind of like when they were the newborn, and each branch goes along in the book, and each branch is their way. Well, yeah, I'll let you explain it.
Well, in the beginning, they're this little sapling, right? And then as they grow in their different areas of development, the branches continue and continue and continue until their branchy little brains are forming and they are learning how to be truly prepared for life through these fundamental pieces. And
Such beautiful artwork.
isn't this great? Brooke Ivy has just
She did
done
a
an
good
amazing job at connecting
The
these
detail,
thoughts.
and it's beautiful, and it is such a good representation. The tree of life, and we all have our branches, that we grow, and some are stronger than others, and we learn which area in our life that we need to maybe strengthen and grow, and it's just a beautiful representation.
And sometimes there's challenges. And in this book, it also brings that up as well. And when maybe you're not given every single thing that you need to be, to have what you need, what you really learn through that process is how valuable the other areas of development nurture that challenge. And every tree is unique. Every person is unique. Every child is unique. And what I love is celebrating that uniqueness and letting every being be the best that they can be.
Absolutely. I love how the root system of trees, literally, like they do support each other. And that is the root. That is our first chakra. That, you know what I mean? That absolutely grounds us to who we are. And so the 0 to 5 is really working on that root system. And then as it's growing, the branches. And so it's such a beautiful way to look at start of life and as we grow. And I have taught my kids to hug trees and stuff like that. And
I'm a tree hugger. Yep,
right?
Yep.
And it depends on the kid, but they're like either sister tree or brother tree, whatever resonates with them, and they do it. And they're like, well, what is the tree doing? I'm like, it's she or he is here actually to help you with your emotions. They are here for us. We're made of the same material. And we need to be teaching about we are Mother Nature. We are part of it. We're not separate.
Well said.
We are part of the birds. We are part of the trees. We are part of the soil. We are part of the air. And if we can embrace who we are, we're unstoppable.
We're unstoppable.
Yeah, we become.
And I want to give that gift. I want to give that gift to kiddos and to parents and to caregivers. I want them to know how important nurturing each child is and giving them our best. So it starts with personal healing so that I can really show up
for your class. It's so true. A beautiful trickle. And yeah, you're good. It's going to be fun watching this. It's just so relatable. You make it very relatable and very easy to read. And maybe because we identify with trees so much, but it just makes sense. Like when you read the book and you see the branches, you're like, yeah, okay, I can do this. I'm proud of you.
This has been wonderful. So much. I'm so grateful.
Happening. In the process. It's encouraging.
And I want people to know that this is worth getting your thoughts out into the world. I want to inspire future writers and people to bring their message out. It's scary, it's hard, it's all of the emotions, it's all the feels as an author.
Yep.
To take all of my thoughts, put them in a piece, and give it away. Be able to say, hey, what do you think? The feedback has been overwhelmingly positive.
Because you did something that others are not, or I should say others want to do, right? Their fear overrides it. And you are a shining example of saying, this is what I've learned in my life, and this is the product of what I'd like to put it all together in a bow and a book and put it out into the world. And that's a beautiful thing too, because it shows all your kiddos, all the thousands of them that you've had, that you never stop growing and you never stop having fears, right? It's just how do we overcome How do we get out in the world and know that we're going to be okay, taking risks?
And the truth is, there is some real struggle that came through my life that brought me to this point. Was diagnosed with dyslexia early in life, and I understood that I'm not a typical learner. And at first, and through kind of the course of being raised, I didn't think that was a gift. But now,
Sure.
as an adult, that's my superpower. I get to see things from different points of view because I really strive to understand. That comprehension didn't come so naturally. And so instead, I've been given these set of tools to see things from different angles. And what a super gift that became. And that gave me the opportunity to capture these thoughts and get them written down. But if you would have told me when I was in, first and second grade that I was going to be a best-selling,
let's be real. Let's say that out loud.
Published author, I don't know that I would have believed you. But becoming a parent and seeing how important it is, stepping into the industry of early childhood education, being impressed upon that value of each individual child, parent, and teacher.
It really is, and it's a beautiful partnership, and it's messy sometimes and chaotic sometimes. And I don't think we're ever going to get away from any of that type of stuff. It's just a matter of how do we deal with it? Like, how do we
harness it?
Yes. Yeah. How do we use it? Like, look what you just did. You had or dyslexia, right?
Yep.
And you turned it into a gift versus like what we tend to do in society is label, and there's so many labels out there. But really, if you just turn that label around, there is growth and learning in it. And that's what we need to teach these kids. We need to stop labeling so much and stop trying to put everybody in a box. We're here. Let's just, it's exciting and it's worthy.
So I want to inspire you. What are you going to do?
Oh, you have definitely inspired me, Joy. In my life circumstances and how we met and why we met was last night after I went home. I'm grateful for my experience, and I'm grateful for meeting you. And for me to have you here too was a big heart for me too, because I don't normally it was just new to me. And my whole goal is I have a children's book that I just wrote that I want to get out in my classroom, which I have right now, and I want to publish it. And she's encouraging me to do that. And I'm trying to go past my limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome and all that stuff. But I'm worth it. I'm worth it, and the kids are worth it. And my book, my message of my book is worth it. And through those children's books, my story. And that's how I'm. And you really have encouraged me to take that step.
I can do it. You can do it.
Absolutely. Just watching me be bold. But think about that. You're an adult, I'm an adult. And you just encouraged me to be with you.
I mean, thanks for not saying I'm a grown up.
But look at the power that is. That we're showing our classrooms, our kids, our grown kids, the people around us. I want to take risks. I don't want to be inferior. I'm taking risks, and I want to be out there. And I have a message, and we all do. We all came here with a message, and our little ones coming through here to teach us that too, and to be able to show them hey guys, I'm really scared to write this book, and but they're seeing me take the leaps and the risks. And that's what we're trying to do.
Inspire.
Because that's what we want them to do. We want them to understand everything that we're going through and that we still go through as adults, just older. So, and having to relearn a lot of things that maybe, we've come a long way in early childhood as well, don't you think?
Absolutely.
It's still very underfunded and very not appreciated by the mass, but I think overall we're starting to understand. We understand, but like the society understands just how important these little ones are.
And how to give them the very best that we can in the lives of them, whether we're here just for a minute, whether we are their teacher for years, whether we're their parent for their life, or we're a Sunday school teacher that gets them for a couple of hours once a week.
Yeah.
What we can do as adults in their lives is important, is valuable. And it comes easier when we are our best selves. And doing that healing work, doing that being present, being intentional, giving our true efforts to enhancing the lives of the young children and all the children in our lives or that we have contact with. How valuable it is to be my best self so that I can be in that moment and show up.
And that is beautiful because that's what we're trying to teach the kids to be themselves. Like, we want them to have such confidence to be able to wear whatever they want. Like in preschool when they come in and they're like wearing the princess dress and the jeans and like one clog and
self-expression.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh my gosh. And I do remember when I one of my kids, I had one particular that was always did that. And there was a time where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, you need to go change, we're going this and that. And then I realized I was like, no, you're perfect just the way you are. Like, I love your funky, spunky attitude. And yeah, girlfriend, go ahead and wear that. And that's self-expression.
Yes.
And so many times I see
creative development.
And it's just, you start looking at all those opportunities to help the kids become their best selves and to love themselves and to get excited to be who they are, like embrace their hair color, embrace whatever clothes they want to wear, embrace their voice, embrace their tone, embrace their feelings, like all of it. Like you don't
celebrate.
We don't need to say, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. Like, no, let's hear it, feel it. Okay. And let's do it together. Like, let's live together instead of being like, okay, they're the young ones, I'm the parent and whatnot. It's just, it's a partnership and you can make mistakes even as parents and teachers, which we all do, of course. And it's a learning lesson for everybody. You can tell your kids at the same time, like, I just, I took a risk. It didn't work out in my favor, but this is what I've learned. And now I'm going to move on. And that's just a beautiful piece.
I think sometimes as a parent, I felt so caught up, or even as a teacher, we've got to get things done. We've got to get somewhere. We've got to get our shoes on. We've got to get our teeth brushed. We've got to do all of these things throughout every day. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I got lost in that doing. And what this reminds, what I learned and what I hope this does for families and teachers is remind them to enjoy those teachable moments throughout the day. Enjoy those connection times and have fun doing the teeth brushing and the shoe getting on. And
well, think about that. That is something you do for your whole life, right? Yeah. Like, let's help it, right? So that's like, have fun doing it. Like you said, all the do's that we have to do, like instead of I have to, I get to. And teaching those kids those things, like, yes, you guys, we're always going to be inundated with doing things. So how are you as an individual, however old you are, doesn't matter, going to go through life as more and more things of the doing come to you? And that's what early childhood is doing, is we're developing that core foundation so they can move through life with all the ups and downs and have the tools to do it. Because there's going to be ups and downs. Always. It's all in how we perceive that up and down. And that's what we're trying to teach the kids is how you perceive things and how you go about doing things, not wrong, but it's just.
Well, and the importance of being intentional and taking those opportunities to love each moment and to love each phase in stage, even when it's challenging, even when it's messy, but it's messy for a reason.
It is.
And
there's work being done. Anytime there's work being done, and I remember telling Joy this last night when I was going through I'm always going through my healing stuff, but when I was going through my healing thing, one of my practitioners said, she's like, it's like you're remodeling. And when you're remodeling, it's messy. But you know what the end result is going to be.
It's productive. It's intentional. Productive.
And worth it.
Thank you so much for this. I mean, really, what I have learned stepping into being an author, being a best-selling published author, but really the healing that I've done through this journey of putting my story out there, the challenges that I faced as a mom and as a young teacher, as a seasoned teacher, as you know, you've got to get re-inspired.
Oh my gosh, it's absolutely, yeah.
This industry is challenging, to say the least. What it burns you out. You know, you give. We're caregivers, and we give, and it takes a lot of physical, mental energy, and absolutely. We need each other. We need others to help inspire and motivate and encourage greatness, high quality, intention, follow through, being our healthy whole selves, so that we can show up and be the best version for the kids in our lives. I want every parent and teacher out there to know how fun early childhood education can be, how important it is, and how to love on those educators, how to awaken the politicians, and be able to encourage support for the children in our society, because they will be who grows up and solves some of those great big world problems. Absolutely. And cares for that next generation. If we are intentional, we are doing our best with these very young, they will get what they need to not just excel in kindergarten and elementary school, but those fundamental life skills that they're going to need to face some big problems and to know themselves and have that self-love, compassion, autonomy, but also caregiving for others. Right. That kindness, that respect, that communication, all of that starts with early childhood. Through experiences, engagement, relationships. The more we give, the better they become.
What a gift. And that's exactly what these young little ones are. They're totally, and they're here to teach us. I have learned more from littles than probably adults.
Oh yeah.
On what to do, and
what not to do.
And what to do, for sure. Absolutely. I have a few in my head, but I'm like, but they're we're all, but that's the beauty of it. I think is just understanding that we're all here together, learning from each other. I'm not just a teacher, I'm a learner as well. And these kids, my classroom is teaching me just as much as I am teaching, just through play, through life experiences, through all the developmental stages. And it's an honor, really. It's an honor to be with those little
Absolutely.
ones.
And I feel like the information in this book has so deeply come from so many children, getting down on my belly on the ground and looking deep into their eyes and listening to their soul and seeing what they need. I like to say I translate
Oh, I like that.
for the adults what the children are saying.
Yeah.
And really giving those that haven't had 30 plus years of experience down on the ground on their belly with those littles
Right.
to be able to share that knowledge. I've had some beautiful mentors and guidance throughout the years, but the children are who has taught me the most.
And when we can look at it like that, look at it that way, if you can look at your kids and be like, what are they here for? What are they teaching me? And what am I teaching them? And how can this be a partnership? And that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And it's,
We're all in this together. And we're solving this great big world together too. And so if they aren't given those tools that they need, when they face this big problems, they will be ill-equipped. And I know as a mom and as a teacher how I want to play a role in their lives, in their success, in loving themselves and giving them the tools to do that in simple, fun, easy ways.
and that's the beautiful part of it, is that it is simple and fun, and yet it's like, right? Like you really, that these first 5 years create that foundation to allow them to have their most beautiful life. And so sometimes we just need to sit back and go, let's take care of our emotions. Let's take care of our inner thoughts. Let's help these kids develop positive self.
In a mindset, and that we have control of our own mindset. And I want to give that gift, that little nugget of information to very young so that they know it as they grow and they become. One of my favorite parts of early childhood education is that what they're exposed to during this time is that hardwire within them. And so if we can give them the affirmations, that mindset, that intention, that self-worth during this time, it is part of who they are. And then we get to practice that and build that skill.
Right? And that's what it is. That's what life is practicing all of those things. And that is what I'm seeing in the older kids, like the teenagers. And I'm like, wow, they're not, some are, but like some are like, they're afraid to take that chance. And you just, and I almost could absolutely take your book and use it with my teenagers as well. And
because these are fundamental pieces.
They are, because if we don't have that, if a person doesn't have the fundamental pieces, you can still get it when you're older. You know, you're just, that's what we talk about when we're healing, learning the fundamental things that we're trying to do with these little ones right now, but we have to also do them for ourselves. And that's what I'm seeing with the teachers. Like when the kids are coming in and being dropped off, it's like, I want to give them the book and I want to be in partnership with them and just see the survival mode. I see the quick drop-offs. I see this is great. Thank you. Here's my kid. I need to go make money. I need to pay our bills. I need to survive. So this kid can be brought up and this kid has food and I can take him to the preschool and whatnot. And so I've as a parent, I understand and and I love that you are gifting them this guide because it allows the family to have chance and to have hope and to have beautiful.
Yay! I'm so grateful to be here, to share this message to, well, share my joy. And I can't wait to see the life that it takes on.
I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to watch it unfold. Yeah, it has a mind of its own. It's gonna do it. It already has. Best-selling author.
Hey friends, Teacher Joy here with my friend Monica, and we're talking about my new book, How to Teach Joy, written by me, Teacher Joy, and illustrated by Brooke Ivy. And Monica, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Monica King, and I'm one of Joy's friends. I met her not too long ago, and I found out she's in early childhood, and so am I. And it just made me so grateful to know that she was bold enough to create a beautiful book to help parents, teachers, and of course our littles who are being focused in this as well. And I'm thankful for her because in this book, because I just am coming back to early childhood after taking a break of raising my own children and doing some other things. And it's exactly, you give me encouragement. It's like I read it and go, oh yes, this is my background. This is what I've learned. But it's just, you make it so simple and you make it so coachable.
I love that.
As a parent, like we're kind of when we're in a survival mode of like the baby's coming home or the siblings or whatnot, we kind of are not always focused on like understanding their whole development of it. We're just like, okay, we have the cute baby in our hand and we're holding them and they're might be crying or whatever. And we kind of just, they just get right into our homes and we just continue. Like everybody knows, you just continue living life when those babies come. And this is a guide. She helps guide the parents and the teachers to understand what's going on from birth all the way to 5 and the branches of the tree. I would love for you to explain that just because I just think what a beautiful way to embrace the child with and embrace nature.
I love that. There's so many different forms of intelligence. However, what I've really found by getting down on the ground with those littles is there's 5 basic branches that we really want to enhance and focus on socially, how children learn and connect with others, connect with their parent, connect with their friends, emotionally, how one feels about themselves, and that confidence, that autonomy, how important that is as a fundamental character of who we are. Cognitive, that brain power, that thinking, memorization, and comprehension, creative outlet and expression, and really getting that who I am as a unique individual focused on. And then that physical well-being, internally, externally, that nutrition, that movement, how to self-soothe and calm. All of these are such important things to focus on, especially during those fundamental years. Those early developmental time, we want to give them the very best start as possible. When I became a mom, I was a child, y'all. I was a baby myself, and I needed this. This is what I needed. I needed a really simple guide to be able to take some of the fear out. It's scary.
Well, because they give you no manual. It's like you're like, well, here we are. We're having, we're pregnant, and we're giving birth. And I just told this to my teenager the other day. I was like, they don't give us a manual. And here we have to take a test to get our driver's license. All these things. And we don't do that for having a child. And it's an individual choice, and I'm glad I can do it on my own. But like to have a guide like this, it takes, I don't have to do all the research. She's done it and she's lived it. And this is her proof of her 30 some years, if I'm correct, of teaching in early childhood and breaking it down simply for even the non-educator, which is huge, I think, for parents, because parents, when we are educators and we're taking care of your kids at school, we're taking care of their every need, just like you would at home, right? But then they go home with you guys, the parents, and sometimes we can, between the two, you have to have a partnership with your child's teacher or their early childhood development. And this allows to bring that gap between the teacher and the parent to work in unison. And I think that's huge because parents, they don't have, if they didn't go to school for early childhood education, they don't, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but understand like just how important 0 to 5 is. It is the foundation of their whole entire lives. And it goes by so fast, right? And you just think sometimes you're like, okay, I just need to get them into elementary school. But really it's
so important. It's fundamental.
Mm-hmm.
It is every relationship for the rest of their life is based on what they experience through these first few years of life. And so why not do the very best we can to enhance their lives with fun and enjoyment and purpose and intention and engaging them in play together and nurturing every single part of their unique personalities and characters to develop really great people that have strong problem-solving skills, that have a core connection to their own self-worth,
and self-love. And you can tell when you go through each page, she is allowing us to open that up for our kids. And I think you'll find that when you open it up for the kids, you're going to find it actually helping and healing yourself as well.
Well, if there is one big gift that I want from this book is to help heal some generational trauma and pass on those gifts instead to those future generations. So this book is a wonderful tool for right now, but what it's really doing is it's teaching children how important early childhood is for when they become parents. They will already have the innate knowing of how child development works and how important it is to give the very best start possible through great experiences, great relationships, and intentional play.
I love it. Intentional play. It's such a great word. And purpose. And you've just done a really good job allowing that to come through your book.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This has been so fun to share it, bring it out into the world, and I'm so grateful for the feedback.
Yeah.
I want everyone in the world to have this book.
Absolutely. Pick it up. You can pick it up on Amazon and anywhere else like books are sold.
Absolutely.
And you will not regret it. And they make great gifts too, to maybe the grandparents or maybe to the new parent or maybe even to, the older parent that is on their second or third kids. Like there's so much to learn with each kid too, right? Because each child is so different.
Yes.
Each child is so different. It's like, I sometimes wonder, I'm like, how is it that I had 3 kids and they're all so different? It's because they're all completely different human beings.
And that was my hope for this book, is it's not a one size fits all.
No.
It really is, you take the information and then cater it to your individual child and their individual needs. It's almost a tool to use to teach that observation and how can I implement these tools to enhance my personal child's life or the children in my classroom. Giving everyone that chance for a great, healthy start. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for sharing your book with me and the world, and I just wish you
and thank you.